since these two teams have met. It was December the 8th in their first matchup, and the Cards got the Blue Devils down 14 in the first half. But it was a tremendous run in the second.
Right? Right now, Lenardi has them out of the tournament. They've been yo-yoing back and forth. James on the attack. Can't get it up there. Malawach tried. He
really is. What a job he does to transfer from Tulane. That's a great job.
It's the deck real hard. Got it free somehow. And one. As James came in to clean it up. Final shot coming up for the Duke Blue Devils. James on the spin and can't get it at the horn. So that's our halftime score. Well, his son, who was born back in the middle of February, is named Trey. Here's James. Yes, what an answer.
Nice spoon. I went to the final game and got beat by the Huskies in Connecticut, who dominated everyone.
Sixth man of the year, the Big Ten. From the corner, James. Yes, sir.
He's so valuable. He's so St. Louis.
Oh, beautiful.
I believe we could name more trophies that you don't have.
Knipple. The follow-on. Oh, Malawach again.
I'll tell you what a tremendous
half. And early, you're talking about still 15 minutes remaining where you're going to have to play with Elliot Cadeau being very passive on the defensive end.
To the point guard. Off the back iron. That won't drop. James back for Knipple outside the three. Carolina fans love the defensive effort. But in the end, Duke lines up with the basket and driven in by 7 to get off a shot here for Duke. James steadies, fires, and it'll go down. He got it off in time. Should have had a block already. They didn't give him. Evans out of the corner. Youngblood, nice job keeping that alive. Here's James. And a bit too strong. Tell you what, if I'm to miss this season of 25 points or more, that's an all-time ACC record. James off the hesitation, beautifully done.
And smart play by James. He gets Withers in the air. Withers, you're going to have to rely on some miscues from the Blue Devils to try to get back into this game.
James will go right to the 10 and lay it in.
And that's a smart play. Whenever you have a 2-on-1.
4 minutes to go. Knipple finds James on the drive, leaning in, and blocked. Carolina wins it again. And also 4 blocks. He's a superb defender. Cooper Flag with a touch to the paint. Outside for James, and he can't sink it.
And the advantage we are, and give Damon Stoudemire and his staff a tremendous amount of credit. They've come out with confidence after a win yesterday. They feel like they can take down the #1 team in the country.
Duke now 0 for 9 outside. Malawach yanking down a rebound. Duke needs somebody. James spinning into the lane. Yes.
A much-needed bucket for the Blue Devils. Sion James attack
to take the lead. Last time they led it was 6-5. Here it comes from James. Got it! Brown. A block by Powell, but it comes free to Gillis. Here's Proctor. In the corner, James again. Knipple flying in for the rebound. We will show you the injury to Cooper Flag a little earlier. The alley-oop doesn't get there, but Proctor picks it off. And again, it's James. Too strong, and a whistle in the paint. Malawach off for Proctor. Proctor jumping in the paint. The tip really well done by Sion James.
And very few teams have a...
Duke wants to make them a half-court team. Another turnover, just trying to make the home run pass.
Duke in transition. James up and good with the left hand, and the lead is up to 5.
There is no way after a turn
off the bench the first month or so has turned into a starter and a very important part of this team. And he drives and hits and has a chance for 3.
I watched Sion has not capitalized off of Duke's turnovers.
They've made 4 of their 5 3-pointers so far tonight. James, he is so strong. How are you going to keep him out of the lane?
Well, Duke is trying to operate in the middle of
between the game clock and the shot clock.
Boy, great job by Drake Powell to deny Knipple.
James, no. Malawach, no. Carolina.
But that's the sort of defensive intensity that North Carolina has had and needs to maintain.
Knipple, nice look. James, the finish.
Boy, off that screening action, R.J.
Powell guarding flag on this trip. Off to James, muscles it up and in.
Boy, terrific pass off that little screen roll.
Doe behind the back, the force, and it's off the side of the backboard.
That is not what Carolina wants.
It gets Duke out in transition, and Flag flushes it. Oh, soft off the glass, but it won't go. James. What a finish.
The change of direction in the open court by Sion.
Some good news today. Tyrese Proctor had missed a game because of a bum knee. He's back in there. And the first shot's going to be tapped out. Already take a nice starting lineups brought to you by CDW. As mentioned, Proctor back in there along with Knipple, James, Flag, and Malawach. James with a misfire. And Hildreth. Flag in the corner. Played only 7 minutes in their victory over FSU as he got hit around the eye. That was in the first half. Came back strong in the second half. Knipple going.
Slim, who had 19 points to lead the Blue Devils against Florida State, running the floor now, could very well have found the opportunity.
James open, got the three.
But Kai Knipple makes the right play.
It's loose again. Shot clock inside 10. Flag on the spin, looking for room to operate. Got it downstairs. Great patience. James with the basket.
Yeah, I love the way Cooper's
rebound tapped and controlled by Duke. James to the paint, scooping it up, no. Down he goes. Great job by Knipple to get to the Proctor's open. Knipple kept that alive. James will drive, take the hit, went for the lay-in. Malawach still battling. Proctor off the fake.
Yeah, but in Evans' defense, Cooper Flag also did that in the previous game. Talking about the Wake Forest defenders being too small to guard him.
James a triple. Right back out high for Flag. On the drive, the spin, the feed. Here's James.
Cooper rim miss. Evans clears it. James. He's tough. Oh my goodness. First basket for Sion James, and he just out path. And the long rebound for Sion James. Let's drive it all the way again and score. Look, I know he's 6'6" and 220 at 8. He's been as impressive as anybody wearing the garnet and gold in this opening frame.
Sure has.
James, another drive into traffic. Couldn't get the roll. Watkins the rebound with.
Has been able to put pressure on the rim.
5 in a row for Florida State. There's a Flag skipping it for James. In traffic, put it up off the glass. Got knocked around. Kick out for Evans. Shot fake, and now the three. Jackson. Sion James into traffic against Bowen and one.
That is Sion James saying so many weapons on the offensive end. I think that's ultimately what wears teams down.
So James with Evans, Knipple, Flag, and Malawach, and Sion James didn't take a shot in that first half.
Oh, so many weapons.
Evans, step back. James slots it. There's Ugochukwu at 7 rebounds. It's a 20-6 run to start the half. Jeez. And James makes it 22. In Foster. James drives it, had it taken away. State McCray with another block. That's a 5 out of his team.
Flag averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 dimes per game. Now James, pull-up jumper, and he knocks down his first shot. Sion James in 1 since inserting. James in the starting lineup for Caleb Foster. Baseline, James. Second shot, no. Malawach tacks it out. Proctor, pick and roll with Flag. He slips, power dribble. Skip pass, rise and fire. Sion James.
Guards of Duke
to be able to power his way to the cup and attack the paint, and that time sure will allow him to score that basket.
James feeling it. Off the mark this time. White with the rebound. Proctor trailing. Knipple uses that body. Can't get it to go. Proctor with the rebound. Now James driving, slashing off the windows. Lovely at it. Sion. Very interesting connection to this Duke program with your Player of the Year award.
Oh, Christian Laettner.
Oh! As James tried to bang it. Riley the other way. James slipping. Now posting. Inside. Extra pivot. Knipple with the rebound. New shot clock. And their fans trying to get back in this game. Flag. Facing. Driving. Kicking. James. Rims off. Rebound. Team, they shoot 31% on the season. Sion uses that body and muscles that ball into the basket.
They don't foul a lot. And so Duke is meeting him with that. They're not putting Virginia on the line either. So both these teams playing great offense. And that's another example of Malik Brown being a playmaker at the top of the key.
Tough D there by Evans. Duke with a couple of big blocks here in the first half. James will penetrate, bank it in, and he's off to the foul line, looking for a three-point play. Knipple. He's got Rhodey on him. Down on that baseline. Nice pass and the stuff by James.
But how about the cut from Sion James? Where it's like that going from Malawach with the block, turning into points on the other end with an advantage.
Big guy with the swat. Here's James from the corner.
Here come the Dukies. Here come the Dukies.
Watch with the board.
He uses the left hand quite a bit as well.
He really does. Both hands around the rim, yes.
James penetrates. Off the window and a foul, too.
That's so underrated. He wasn't underrated when he...
Gillis for James. James around the back. Still, and a tough drive. Just kept on going, very determined.
He made that because of his strength.
Here. Cal's got 4. We got 5.5 minutes to go in this first frame. It's a 13-point Blue Devil lead. James. And the rebound for J.O.J.
The Duke Blue Devils a year ago. And now,
Jalen Blakes.
Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah.
Jalen Blakes, who has the highest increase in points per game nationally.
He's had a good year.
Hit the back iron for Malawach.
And is that double-double number 4 for Malawach?
I think so, yep. Sure is. And there's a block by Monty. Here come the Bears the other way.
Championship to boot.
Yep.
So, but he had a great freshman class along with him, and Trey Jones, Justice Winslow.
Yep. Out of the corner, James.
My son, Bud.
And Tigers, and their starting 5, including the Hunters, and Shefflin, a big body in the middle. On the run, and up and in by Sion James as he got it to go. Here's Texas. And at 4 o'clock Eastern, number 6 LSU hosting number 19 Tennessee. Coming off a big win. That one banked in by James.
And a big win over Connecticut. The Stars have to elevate their game.
James on the drive, went for the dunk, he didn't get it. And a whistle will go the other way.
It's a good Clemson team.
Yes.
This is a good Clemson team.
Do a lot of things well. They've done a bunch of them today. Here's James with a shot. That 3 won't fall.
Yes, sir. Give it to number 2.
Airborne pass here, right back to James. He'll drive, tough angle. He's denied. Clemson shut him down. And Duke commit.
By the way, I'm waiting for one Syracuse player to utilize a head fake and clock into the player because every Duke player has left their feet for every shot.
James for 3. It's good. A timeout needed by Adrian. Carlos picks up flag again in the half court. James drives it over McLeod and finishes.
I really think Sion
switched on to Cup. The Kansas transfer lost the handle. James with a steal. James down the floor. Got Starling in the air. Couldn't finish. You like the pieces Miami gets back? Andrew Wiggins, a couple other players in a first rounder?
Yeah, I think good pass. I tell you, Malik Brown. John Shire was right about him. Not only is he great defensively. Deal with that challenge when he's in the prime of his career, but dealing with that challenge when you're 35 years old, a different stage that I'm not sure is worth the investment.
Sion James with a three-point opportunity for Duke.
El balón en manos de Knippel. El pase. Así, facilito. El primer con el tip para el rebote largo. James para Cooper Flag. Aquí está Sion James. Estira el brazo, pero no marcan la falta. El triple tampoco llega. Duke. Ian Jackson para Cabo. Otro pase picado. El robo de Cooper Flag. Atento. Y la zancada tremenda. El pase picado. Aro pasado. ¡Qué canasta! La transición es tremenda. El enceste de...
que no proyecta para nada importante en el draft, Miguel, por el hecho de que mide 1.80.
Sí. Buena defensa ahora sí de los Tar Heels. Pero en la de las habilidades. No iba a ser por arriba, sino con ese crossover excepcional. RJ Davis, Knippel. El pase a la esquina, falla. El triple, obviamente, con el gran momento y la época que se ha vivido ahí con los Huskies. Pero ahora está acá con los Blue Devils y no ha fallado. No se ha quedado con...
Tira el triple.
Ataca Sion James. La volcada para...
So Duke with a response, and how about this? The pick by James. He'll slow it in. Trey Parker was looking to his bench for a strong no. And a whistle. Sion James. Euro stepping his way in for two.
And great recognition by Sion.
Entry here for Flag. The kick for Proctor. In and out. Rebounded to James on the tip. He lays it up and in. He's hit on the play too. He'll be headed to the line and can't connect. Knippel. Here's James. James looking for contact. Swatted out. Good job by Taylor to make sure that was no...
But missing an opportunity on that possession.
Well, they led by 4 at halftime. Now it's 41-37 Duke. James slamming on the brakes. Off the window, won't drop. He'll stay right here. Duke looking to build on a three-point advantage. James gets downstairs and up and in.
And Sion James is always going to have an advantage.
Has defeated Duke 2 of the last 3 times they have played, including the ACC tournament, the NCAA tournament last spring. The roll for James. He'll slam it down.
Great execution out of the timeout for the Blue Devils. Him at the center of that zone to force him to not have to switch out or screen and roll action.
Flag set a screen for James. He keeps on rolling. Rebound tipped and poked out. Knippel with another effort shot. And that today because Wake Forest only hits 28% from three-point land. And overall, they've missed 5 consecutive shots. James on the entry, can't finish. Malawat's going up trying. A big day of college basketball on ESPN. Flag looking to go around the back. Got free. James will fire it up and swish it in from three-point land.
I have no idea.
Cooper Flag. In the corner, the jumper coming from James, but that didn't touch anything.
Shoots it with confidence.
That was their first made three. Proctor with an answer on the other end. He tried anyway, but came up empty. Here's James to launch. That missed ugly.
Part of. You did it with sincerity. You actually care about the product we put out there, and you love the game.
Here. And the biggest heart you're going to find anywhere. We love him so much. This is the
Got to be really careful with against Duke. But sometimes the fouls, they become so annoying, and they disrupt your whole rhythm.
James. One and done there. Johnson wants to push it.
Back here, the students here for the Boston. And one of my guys called that off of the knee.
Nice move here by James.
Of Caleb Fawcett. I believe they got it right. I'm not sure that the offense with 20 seconds remaining. And this is a team that scores over 80 points, so they're used to playing fast.
James to the other side of the iron, and another missed layup for Duke.
Key throughout this game.
James into the painted area, and one. He'll be off to the line.
as he slices in for the basket.
Todo lo que lidera con este programa, este talentosísimo de 18 años.
Sí, sobre todo, como dices, inteligente, maduro para la edad, muy maduro.
Está tirando Doug en cuanto a la larga distancia. Segundo robo de la noche para Cooper Flag. Puede ser desde esa zona, defiende dos, ataca la pintura. Hizo bien el cambio de manos, pero no pudo ejecutar al final en prácticamente todos los aspectos del juego. Los Huracanes, un equipo que promedia 77.5 puntos por partido. Pero veíamos previamente cómo ha concluido las finales de conferencia la temporada anterior. Sostiene la posesión el equipo de Jugge. Viene la pinta desde esa zona. Ataca la pintura. Cambio de manos a dos tiempos y adentro. Otra vez
el equipo de Duke con 10 victorias consecutivas. Ya lo hablabas. Iowa State, que está como el número 2 de la nación en el ranking hasta este momento. 11 victorias consecutivas.
Got around him, but can't hit it. Blue Devils in transition. Pass. James for three. And what a start for Duke. Kick to the corner for James. 3 to shoot. Into the paint and up, no good. Offensive rebound, Malowacz, and he's fouled.
You got Malowacz basically playing the dunker spot down low.
James. Followed by Flag, couldn't finish it. It's still live.
Sticking with the 2-3 zone.
Proctor. James for three. Not there. And it is saved.
James, outstanding passer. Duke's been passing the ball exceptionally well. They're averaging 21 assists the last 3 games. And that one will be knocked down by James. On cue,
in front of Leggett and forcing that tough shot. Hard for his guard to do that, let alone a 7'2" guy.
James in tight, and that one knocked away. Opening minutes. In their last game, they roared back to beat Cal. The swing, and Evans off target. Rebound knocked away. Still big battle for that in the paint. It came through.
Even though this has been a relatively clean game, giving one away on that possession.
James slanting inside and knocked away. Big time block there by Corey.
I'm sure we're going to see that later on SportsCenter. Top 10 highlight.
More than once. James to the paint, swatted away. Corrin with the stop.
Aim for him to be able to come here and play Cameron Indoor and wanting to make sure he has the best showing he possibly can.
James slicing in. Denied. Duke will get a second chance.
And now with Zach Austin going down, we'll get much more of an opportunity.
Flag on a double. Nice pass. And that'll be finished by James. But a terrific pass by Flag, too.
That core that they have that has not been able to get on track here against this stingy Duke defense.
James working at 6'6", lazy. He's strong.
He's super strong in the painted area. But more importantly, you can't to get it to go. And of course, for the Panthers, they're going to have to start knocking down some of those looks if they're going to try to get back into this one.
James from the corner and sinks it from three-point land.
Moving forward.
James, shot clock inside 5. Left it short. Knipple.
He did. No, he didn't. No.
Duke with the basketball, closing in on 9 minutes to go. Beautiful cut to the basket, and Flag follows, slamming it down.
And penetration by James.
There's no debate about that. There are very few teams that can say they have the schedule that Duke has so far this year. In the corner, and it's not there. And the rebound to Igitolu. And a must 12-point Duke lead. James, left hand. That's a strong move by a strong man.
I mean, he's built like a linebacker.
Cross a rebound on the James missed 3.
The win against them, and I've always found it hard, is that when I've got to go on the road to play against a team that's not meeting expectations, you see an up and under finish by James. It's hard because for this.
On the board with his 7th triple of the year, and Virginia Tech a 2-point advantage. Malik Brown, Sion James baseline.
hides with Poteet. That's his 16th assist on the season. For a big guy, he passes the ball pretty well.
Here's James from the corner. 3. And last touch by the Blues.
Stayed in the ACC.
Yes. Thank you. I knew I could set up my man tonight for that. On the drive, James lost it last touch. A.J. Desai says throwaway. James. Proctor a 3. James the rebound and the stick back. Second chance points for Sion James. 79 a game. They are number 1 in the ACC scoring defensively. It's 58.5 points a game. There's a drive and bucket for James.
Well, Poteet will want to do, then that helps you. But Virginia Tech just can't get inside.
How about the steal? Malawach to Flag to James for the dunk. You're going to jump right in it with those two, aren't you? 4.5 to go. Here's Proctor with 10 on the shot clock, and James the catch. Double figures now for Sion James.
Happens, but that's basketball.
Over a 7'5" wingspan for the bucket. Here's James, very physical guard. Sion James, the first Duke field goal.
I think he's been a good, steady player.
Caleb Foster, boy, they'd love to get him going for Duke. James for 3. It's good! 7 in a row for the field. He's got 7 as that 3 swirls out. Strong driver, Sion James. Hesitation and an offhand finish for James.
And one, probably, for Georgia Tech to see that from him.
Up to 7. 21 against Duke in the win here last year. James on a hard drive. Went right into Ryan Mutombo, standing up with 2 fouls.
It just makes it hard for the other team.
One of the better field goal defenses, second best 2-point defense in the league as Mutombo blocks James.
Just like his
for Duke, a lights out offensive performance.
I went to Syracuse. My math isn't that good, so I think that's 66, isn't it?
66.666.
Defended by Woody Newton. Flag, another offensive rebound. James a deep 3. Got it.
That's a very optimistic drive right there, trying to get it over Malawach.
James left open. Good rebound by Anderson. Draws a foul. James for 3. Skip pass to Proctor. James off the bounce. Counted in the foul.
I'd say about Malawach, watching him early and live, is he's got to do a better job with his hands. His hands got to be ready on offense. His hands have got to be high on defense.
Sion James bullies his way inside. Mike tried to split the double team, his second turnover. Sion James wide open. Pops out to Proctor, and it grazed the rim. Anderson no good.
So all of that means you're going to have maybe 40 games to play.
But I mean, you're going to get a letdown in there.
No, there's no letdown.
James. And a timeout going to be called. Times it could be when they need it to be. That makes sense.
I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen in the games where late game situation, Shire's calling his number. And Sion James. There's a
Meanwhile, Duke 0 for their last 4 on this side of the floor.
I say it all the time. How you play is your best recruiter nowadays.
Sion James could not get. James. Rebound Heppard.
Should have hope about it.
Proctor with 3. Kick out James. Rims in a 3 to beat the buzzer. Well defended. Rebound Sion James. Contact no coach. Already have 1 ranked win this season against Indiana. First ranked win for the program since 2021. That was aggressive.
Big guard. He can handle it like a point guard. He is a very good passer. But against this Auburn Tiger team that's really physical, he provides a different level of physicality for Duke than Caleb Foster.
And Malik Brown has to be right there with him for what he did on the defensive end and how tough he made life for Janai Broome in the first half. Broome just 2 for 9 in this game, 5 points. Jones, little stop and go, lost it. 2-on-1. Knipple, James, and the finish. Johnson. He'll pull up, miss the 3. James, another offensive rebound. And Duke just all over the offensive.
Out of bounds underneath. That is just not good execution and not a good idea by Auburn.
James floats it up and in. Duke by 4. Now flag. Backdoor cut, James.
What a block.
Janai Broome got it.
James essentially.
Right across the screen for Proctor. Flag on the roll. Flag flips it for James. And Cooper soars in for the offensive rebound. Watch on the floor with James, Proctor, Flag, and then more first half minutes for Evans. James is given plenty of space. That's a long 2. Tommy out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. North Mecklenburg High School. James, hard to the rack, and a foul. Oh, I'm not. That's why I said it was a quirk. I never said that. I never said that. Roll the tape. James into Dan, no.
Flag to his left. Great defense that time. It's Duke's ball and a wide open 3. Need it, and they got it. Sion James, the Tulane track. Flags, baseline, tough shot, deflected. Adams did it again, but there underneath to put it back up and in for Duke. Ejected on a flagrant true when his right foot made contact with the head of Malik Brown on the ground. That's an open 3. Sion James sees it.
From Syracuse, such a good defender, a very good rebounder as well. He's got a big job ahead of him. Krivas out of the game, but if Asar is in, and another thing that Brown can do is pass the ball extremely early. For many reasons, as you know, Jay, Caleb Love would dearly love to have a big game. He's coming off a tough one against Wisconsin, 2 for 13. And again, this is Duke, a team that he has now played 9 super athletic and scoring.
Yeah, this has been a physical game, which you expect.
Duke with the ball and a 5-point lead. Final minute of the first half. James makes it a 7-point game.
He's made some soccer and still was able to block that shot.
James blocked by Bason. And Lewis has it for the Wildcats.
Down to Gillis. 2 more misses for Wofford, which starts 2 for 14. Flag sets up James, creates space, and his 3 is grabbed by Malowatch. Got up quickly enough to want the ball on the other wing. Con Knipple, who has opened eyes early in the season, sets up James for 3. Everything going for Duke. 5 for 9 from deep.
Possession means you get a good one.
Even up 44. These are important early in the season. James. Gillis was in there. Brown got hands on it.
De la noche. El quinto de la noche y ahora es cortesía de Ansley Almonor. Aguanta hasta el final. El disparo ahora no entra. Ya enfriado la mirilla para los jugadores de los Wildcats. La respuesta espectacular, agresiva. Otra vez con Foster. El armador de bola. Momentos de descanso para Cooper Flag. Aro pasado. Era muy buena la intentona de Zach. Robinson aguanta el embate de Flag, que levanta la cara, empieza la transición. Sion James ataca la canasta y con mano derecha deposita el balón de manera sutil.
I don't think there's any doubt that these Army players, they're not going to be afraid. That's one thing.
Well, that is one thing Duke head coach John Shire made clear to us this afternoon after shoot-around, that this Mason Gillis, the Purdue grad transfer, now back outside to Sion James, way off the mark. Cooper, Flag fights for the ball. Malawach back into the game, gives it to Flag. James spotting up from the wing. Long rebound, fought for.
Offensive rebound, but they only have 7 second chance points, so Duke really hasn't made them pay yet.
James off the feed from Flag. We've seen it time and time.
It gave that mid post, that post up from Flag gave Maine some real problems the other night.
James missed badly. Is that the same kind of thing they tried to do with Kyle Phillip?
Throws it down like a glove.
And now that you mention it, that seems to me that Sion James buries the shot. He leads Army with 17 points tonight, 14 for Scovins. Off the spin, James has a chance for 3.
Yep, and puts me and the ball in the basket. That was my experience with Jay Williams.
Now I looked at that box score. Brown throws down the miss. I looked at that. Proctor creates some space. Malawach, the offensive rebound. Sion James. And the former Tulane Green Wave misses his first shot as a Blue Devil. Again, number 2 with the basketball. James off the feed. It's another assist from Cooper Flag. James, Proctor, Brown, Flag. There's James off the bounce from last year's Defensive Player of the Year rebound, and he'll bring it up himself. 6 rebounds now for the freshman in his debut. Well, there's the strength of James. When you look at him, you understand he can make do. James left it a little short. Fight for the ball comes to the Black Bears. Duke can go to Carolina this year, or other years going the other way around. Sion James somehow keeps his footing and lays it in. 11 points.
For the Blue Devils throughout this tournament on the offensive end as a lob threat.
Edwards off the fake, harassed, he can't get it to drop. James with the rebound.
Malawach made that happen. No question about it.
Have at it, and then at 8 o'clock, the women's field of 68 is on the way in bracketology at 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. So it's the...
He scored over 1,300 points when he's at James Madison, who has a real strong program.
Around and out by Hadley. Duke down 3. Edwards with the hot hand. Off the dribble, no.
He was off balance on that shot, Corey, but you got to forgive him. You let a guy like that do it in St. Louis.
Oh, beautiful.
I believe we could name more trophies that you don't have.
Knipple. The follow-on. Oh, Malawach again.
I'll tell you what, a tremendous...
He will be the HC Tournament MVP. But when you think about, this really was a team effort from the Blue Devils.
Absolutely.
When you consider what Malawach did, what Patrick Gungwa did coming off the bench, you think of
an issue in the first half, hasn't it?
It absolutely has been. This is the 35th game for the Tar Heels this year. 23 times now, Elliot Cadeau has picked up 2 fouls in the first half. And Earl to have to play with Elliot Cadeau being very passive on the defensive end.
So your point guard off the back iron, that one dropped. James following the miss. Knipple trying to get involved.
8 of his 10 points came from the free throw stripe. Only 1 of 6 from the field.
Can't connect on the foul shot, but that was 6-3 against 7-2. We've seen enough to set this in.
The old adage is, once you get to this point, you're no longer freshmen. And again, these guys have gotten so much experience. You think about the big games that the Blue Devils locked in even more, knowing he's got to do it without his brother.
Terry with a little fall away. Can't stick that. And now Duke's trying to jump out in front. They've been trailing all day.
The arena you go to, but especially when you're in the state of North Carolina.
Terry needs to heat up fast, but that won't fall. He said a very chilly tournament.
Pointing to spots where they wanted them to go. The 6th assist for Knipple.
George with a spin, another short one. Knipple and Malawach. And one
games.
Malawach off for Proctor. Proctor jumping in the paint. The tip really well done by Sion James.
And very few teams have a
much more aggressive, assertive, and in attack mode. It's a hit-first mentality.
Trimble misses the three. And the rebound to Sion James, a 4-year starter at Tulane. Came because it's been a down year for the ACC. They have not been tested very much at all in conference play. They are 18-1, the only loss coming last month at Clemson.
A ball screen gets Malawach away from the basket.
Trimble with a drive. Hangs. He wanted the foul call. No whistle, and back come the Blue Devils. Trimble. Whoa, flag got all of that, and James runs it down for Duke.
Trimble really wanted to take on
the crossover by Davis. Cadeau, what a pass.
What a block.
Flag got it. Lubin couldn't finish it. Cooper Flag with his 3rd block of the night.
A bucket.
Traffic. Cadeau, soft off the glass, but it won't go. James. What a finish.
Boy, Duke has really shut down the lane in the second half for North Carolina.
Davis follows his miss, but can't lay it in. And it's Duke ball with 1:45 to go.
And for the moment,
with 2 hands.
Nobody with vision from the weak side. Ben Allen Lubin so concentrated on his man. And that was an exclamation point on this Duke win in the Smith Center.
He had nowhere to go. Reed is open. Long distance, but no. Rebound tapped and controlled by Duke. And about 3 minutes to play. Harris jumping inside. Can't bank it in. So for Wake, this will be their 10th defeat. They will drop to 2.
Shot clock at 4. Here's Watkins. Long 3. Front rim miss, and James clears. Ahead for Knipple. Foster on the dribble. Skip out. Dang, a 3 right wing. And Malawach had a hand on it. James finally controls it for Knipple. Kahn all the way.
Florida State's difficult.
Here is Chandler Jackson with 4 to shoot. Trying to find a path. And the long rebound for Sion James. Let's drive it all the way again. 5 in a row for Florida State. There's a flag, skipping it for James. In traffic, put it up off the glass. Got knocked around. Kick out for Evans. Shot fake, and now the 3.
Boy's really comfortable getting to my left hand for one dribble and then pulling. Perfect example right there.
Watkins and the follow. Maluk couldn't control it. Here is James. Evans. Nitu has come in the lineup. Long 3 bounds away off the hand of Watkins. Flag for Knipple.
You got to play 30 feet out. When you have so many other weapons on the floor, I just think Isaiah Evans makes everybody else's game easier with the space he creates on the floor.
Gongba got position early on.
Just so many weapons.
Evans, step back. James swats it. There's Ugochukwu at 7 rebounds.
Jonas turns the corner. The kick, the reversal. Humrickhouse. 0 for 17 for Illinois. From the 3-point line. Yeah, Duke always knows how to reload.
Yep.
Ibisic, nice backdoor cut. Yakutronis unable to finish. Flag the other way, striding. Riley. Riley steps into a 3. Off the heel, rebounded by guess who? Sion James.
little zone defense. Shooting the basketball even better, and now shooting 61.5% from the field.
James with a fall away from three-point land. That won't drop, and Duke comes away with it. A 21-14. Proctor on him. Shot clock down to 6. McNeely took a glance. Here's a long one. Rebound comes right to James. Yep.
Gumba got quality minutes when Malik Brown was out for the 4-game absence and has gained some experience.
Knipple hit the deck there on the loose ball.
Be like such a, she's a hero's of guest to John Shire. Terrific young girl, 10 years of age.
Can't get that one to go. Just 10 years old.
Yep. I want to simply say, if you want to get chances on that car, make sure.
On the move, Sellers. Too strong. And a big rebound by James. And, of course, for the Cardinal, this is their 4th.
Stojakovic, 7 to shoot against James. Out of the corner, the 3-ball bounds away for Wilkinson. Graham. Bears trying to get on the board. Petritus inside, skips it back. Blackshear will toss another 3 away. Short, and James the rebound.
And when you come into Cameron Indoor, you get opportunities like that. You cover it.
Isaiah Evans is in.
And you don't have to announce him. He's going to announce himself.
Yes, he does. Has never seen a shot. It's really good. Blackshear on the drive. Fall away over Brown. And the rebound, James.
But Duke did their job when they force you to have to take those tough shots, even if they went to Clemson and won that triple overtime game. He was huge.
Stojakovic baseline fall away on Gungba, no good. James the rebound. Lead is 50
possession of the half.
High percentage shot.
Blackshear. Front rim miss of the 3. James the rebound. Lead for Flag. Oh, couldn't quite flag.
He's not looking for individual success. He's about winning, so he knows his teammates have to be successful. For them to win was part of the reason why he's in the top 10 in the ACC in assists as well.
Yep.
That's enough for him.
Here's Wilkinson. And James the rebound.
They just can't make a shot.
No, the Cal night is not that
His teammate Trey Jones was ACC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
Sissoko missed the front end. Yeah, Chicago's Jahlil Okafor.
The kid's a winner. He right now rates #1 in the history of Clemson basketball as the winningest player. He's won over 101 games as a player.
And it was Zachary, who played at Boston College first. Shot won't drop for Reeves. He's 7'2".
He's a Duke kid. He was at Duke. He had 7 rebounds the other Duke in the paint. Tonight, Clemson has done that.
Flag on the attack right away, a misfire. And a whistle and a foul right on the edge of the
difference, a big difference. Got that experience. They reshaped their whole lineup when you look. Oh, wow.
On target, Isaiah Evans for the triple.
They did.
Inside by Chucky Hepburn for 2. He has 11.
Nice drive by Hepburn. They're not going to go away. There's no quitting them.
Proctor left open again, and he can't miss all of a sudden.
He's out of the pass to rock.
Knipple drives it, scores it.
He's one of the best drivers in college basketball.
Got to get a shot up, though. 6 to shoot. Never got to the iron. Malawach will take a long one and bury it from 3.
And why not?
Look, there have been a couple of potential roadblocks that could have tripped up Duke, but it really hasn't.
Another one.
Another slam by Gungba.
They're on the floor with your guys, but if you can't play, you want to make sure you're on the bench, encouraging and doing anything you can to help your team win.
In for Evans, instant offense for the 6'6" freshman from LA here in Charlotte. The winner to advance to the semifinals tomorrow. Evans on the attack off the window for 2.
And Isaiah Evans has a reputation.
Here's Knipple. Yes! A triple on the money. He has one by and no on the slam. He's had a very different second half. Here comes Evans. Wide open to nail it. He has 14.
And it's Duke ball. Now Duke with an advantage. Withers behind the play. James, Brown the trailer, and it's a 12-0 run for Duke. And now it's Hubert Davis.
Of course, a top 25 team early this year, and they had Hunter Silas primarily at the point guard position.
Flag wide open for a triple. He's hitting 38% here at Cameron Indoor.
Well, when you consider how long he's coached against the Blue Devils and again against Coach K and his teams, that's a tremendous compliment to John Shire and what he's done. But when you've got guys like Mason Gillis coming over.
And Flag, his first rebound of the night. James ahead from Malawach. Catch, layup, good. 2-0 Duke.
The native of South Sudan played in the Olympics this summer.
James. Sion trying to get it to Cooper. Does. Strong against Nitu. Second field goal for the freshman.
Wes, you've had a bunch
of Flag skipping it for James. In traffic, put it up off the glass. Got knocked around. Kick out for Evans. Shot fake, and now the three. Hello.
Just a wonderful freshman from Chicago. Big fella inside. They compare him to Bam Adebayo. He's out with a broken wrist. Knipple.
See how he went through the defense right there, Gus.
6'2", 25, graduate player. Left Purdue to come to Duke. He already had his MBA as well as his undergraduate degree as Tyrese Proctor. He's got an MBA. Knipple Proctor. Knipple driving baseline. Cut off. Dips inside and fakes it down.
See that shoulder? You see that shoulder? He dipped that shoulder. Who was relentless with his practice habits.
Outlet pass, Malawach. Great catch. Rim runner. Easy bucket. 50-27. It was you and Christian Laettner for Player of the Year awards, and at Ohio State, you can only get your jersey hung in the rafters if you're a Player of the Year, as Proctor hits a jump shot, and you beat into the starting lineup. As Lyndon Baines Johnson once said about the art of negotiation. I'll sit down with you, and you'll sit down with me as Evans hits the jump shot. And we'll both give our side.
Doesn't shoot enough. Once again, you're shooting 41% for three. You should be looking to let it go every opportunity you get.
Oh, that's a great pass. And a great slam on a watch.
Obi, you realize the core strength that you have.
So the fall away from three-point land, that won't drop, but Duke comes away with it. A 21-14 lead, and looking to add to that, and they will, coming off the bench. As Proctor to push the tempo. He's really been a hot hand these days for Duke. James tiptoeing that line. Knipple's open. Got it.
He can flat out shoot the ball. What a year he is doing, Corey. I hope I don't spoil your party.
Well, he's number 2 in ACC games at 46.4%. And returning to favor quickly is Tyrese Proctor. Man, has he been locked in.
He's the class that saved Coach K. Of course, TA was an 87, not 86. But I have to admit, I was a Duke fan at the time.
Well, here's Gillis again to knock back a three.
He's a big that quick.
That's impressive as heck. 7:27 to go first half. Favorite Cameron Indoor. The inbounds and a slam from Malawach. How do you let him get free like that? Years old.
Yep. I want to simply say, if you want to get chances on that car, make sure you go to v.org/VitalRaffle. v.org/Vital. Let an undefeated season. That younger brother. Uh-oh. Give it back.
Flag to Knipple over the top. And flag with a stop.
4 and change. First is ACC members.
We see immediately Duke going to try to take advantage of the 6'6" point guard Sion James posting him against Black.
By Sissoko a moment ago. 10 to shoot though. Very quickly as James handles the possession. Flag. Fall away. Left of the lane is good. First points of the night for the freshman from Newport.
He's going to make an open one.
You're going based upon his last name.
Yes.
Here's Flag. A dunk.
There's the zone look, and they screen down on the big
efficiency, but defensively they are so efficient.
Absolutely, Coach Vitale. And when you consider you want to be a championship team and win games like this in a hostile environment, your defense.
He had 7 rebounds the other night in limited time. Doesn't have a lot of minutes.
James with a kick out, another long one, knocked down by Proctor, who has been outstanding in the first half.
Yeah, he's been all savage.
That goes back to you being a math teacher back in the day when you took your first high school coaching job.
Yeah,
you were coaching the math class as well. Obi and I watched the 30 for 30.
Great fake. Which by the way, I loved.
But we're certain that Duke and Auburn have been the best 2 teams in the country all season long. So with the winning streaks, if they do come to an end, still have an opportunity to stay in the top.
I think Concanipple has a different theory at this point.
He was a great player. Now he's a tackle in football.
Flag with the give. Now the kick out. Here's Evans on the other side, and he'll swish it in.
5-point swing, Dickie B. You miss a layup on one end of the.
How much we learned from UB. He's a Jersey guy, the Jersey boys. Fratello, Adebayo, UB Brown. You know, there it is. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. He
got a shot off but couldn't finish. Great rotation by Duke. He got him wide open down low from Malawat. Hey! And Malawat stuffs it on the feed from James. Lampkin needs to sprint back defensively. Wanted to pass the rock. Todd Knipple and Tyrese Proctor each had 9 in the first half. Knipple set up by James. Spins in. Duke 7-3 of the night. You like the idea there?
Well, drag that screen out. Force that defender to come with you.
Proctor elevates and scores it over the top of the freshman Moore.
Thought he got away with an offensive. Yeah, just everybody shooting fadeaway shots.
You got to come up with something new against Duke, I guess. Another pocket pass. Brown brings the Thunder off the drop down from James. Foster, flag, Brown, James, fake, drop, Brown, layup.
It is looking like a clinic.
Good grief. For Hofstra last year, 10 and 9 assists.
That's going to be a shot.
Flag inside McCollum. A high flying flag.
10 pérdidas para North Carolina. Flag le muestra la bola a su defensivo. Otra vez. El pase es correcto. El triple es mejor. Desde el codo con Cunipo. Básquetbol. Bueno, vaya que lo aprovechó al 100% este muchacho. Tyrese Proctor. Desde la punta de la llave. Aunque ahora son los Blue Devils los que se han topado con pared. Flag con espacio. El triple. Cobrando una pequeña.
This is an 8-0 run. 18-9 inside for the 6'11 freshman Gungba.
Yeah, Gungba gives Duke an all. We talked about OB. He can be more aggressive. 9 points, 4 from the field.
Guy who came in averaging just 7. Proctor on the drive, lays it in. Nobody stopped him. Tyrese Proctor, the 6th, 7 o'clock Eastern. Then R.J. Davis in North Carolina. They're in Pittsburgh, squaring off against the Panthers.
Huge game in Pittsburgh as Cooper Flag gets to double figures, attacking the basket with the nice finger.
5, man, that's a big number Ravi to overcome. Vanderbilt currently being projected about a 10 seed in that NCAA tournament.
0 for 2 shooting it in the early going. James off the flag. Yes, that's 2.
It's an interesting lineup that John Shire's got. Where
High out of the sky, and Duke with a great collective effort defensively. Yeah, Malawat's doing the job, running the floor, taking away that opportunity. Proctor got a look and drains a triple. I'm not sure you can celebrate. Projections in particular. Duke with a basketball. Foster trying to cut in. James over the top, and the slam. Malawat's getting back on the floor. Great hands by Malawat, but this one knocked away by Duke. Evans will launch in transition, though. James grabs the rebound. Proctor, yes, nothing but net from three-point territory. Always the best time to shoot the three. Have the ball back, and James to put it in for the baseline. Malawat off the entry, banks in 2. And it's a simple thing, and coaches. Proctor thought about it. Zone defensively from BC. Flag slams it in. Man, can he get up in a heartbeat. Last field goal, Duke defense clamping down.
get to 8-0 here this evening.
Off the inbound, banked in by Proctor, and a whistle too.
Atónito, como también en el radar de una buena cantidad de equipos de la NBA. Todavía con poco menos de 10 segundos desde la esquina, el pase en corto, la bandeja, atacando la pintura y solos, pero que tuvo que entrar en quite tras la renuncia de Jim Larrañaga. Y por ello, Bill Kearney, que ya tiene 6 años formando parte de este programa, pues tuvo que entrar al quite como gente de la parte por ahora.
Sí, encontrando esos disparos de distancia ante la presión de la defensa de Duke, pero han encontrado bien en sus últimas 2 ofensivas, pero ahí viene inmediatamente la respuesta.
Con el cambio de manos, pero bien defendido. El hombre que aparece en el rebote es Camana Malone.
Sí, tú hablabas hace un momento de Link Kidd, hasta ahorita lo que ha logrado este chico son 14 unidades.
Boy, patient and unselfish.
What a pass.
This is terrific offense by the Blue Devils. And this day has not gone the way he has wanted it to go thus far. Flag over Davis for the bucket.
All set up just to get him a little ice.
Already in this game. There's still 3.5 to go in the first half. James. Lob. Malowacz again.
They are really looking for Kaman Malowacz.
His team on that they show them, hey, you're in these games. They've just got to do little things better here and there to turn the L's into W's. Right down the lane for the slam.
Low and Ishmael Leggett out of the painted areas. We get a look at Duke's starting 5. Sion James, they've won the last 7 games with him at the point. And you see him dropping the dime to Malowacz. Malowacz, who spent 7 years not only playing the 4 years for him, but spent 7 years beside him as an assistant coach.
Ball flip to Duke. Here's Flag. Good look and swishes in a triple.
He's been shooting the basketball a good shooting team,
but they had not run into Duke yet. Flag will flip it. James.
We've got an issue. Zach Austin. Zach Austin looking.
Yes.
And they use that size, that length to deter opportunities to get deflections and to get the job done on the defensive end of the floor.
Proctor got it from three-point land.
He's been one of their best players. You saw the last 3 games averaging over 18 points a game. They're going to need him. You see penetration to kick out over to Proctor again and knock down that 3.
Boy, has he been hot in this. And put on a single pound since he walked out of Duke.
He looks like he can give you about 15 minutes and probably get you 10 to 12 points.
Here's Flag, little fadeaway, and nothing but net. He has 4.
SMU that last time showing a little. What you've seen is that SMU has mixed up their coverages from man to zone. They're flaring out, being a little bit more physical, a little bit more help. That last time you see Cooper Flag, and that's one of the things we talked about him in the open. A 3-level type of scope.
May have been bumped, no call, and Proctor with the rebound. Here's James. And there's Flag wide open. Man, is that a stroke.
And the thing is that James set that up. Obviously, the offensive.
A little short. Foster. Yes, sir. Caleb Foster.
And good ball move.
And a three-pointer, a big one by Gillis.
And good penetration.
Duke maintaining this lead with Flag on the bench, although he's getting set to check back in. And there's another nice move there by Gillis in a timeout. Corner. And no good, but a long rebound to Flag. And here's James. He's not going to take that shot, but he'll make a nice pass to Brown.
And here's where you have to know the scouting report. You run right out at James, and even though he can't shoot.
Drop 2 defenders and leave Lawal alone.
Quick pass, Flag, the catch, dunk, and foul on Lawal. Longwood in Dallas to kind of set the table. They've now won 7 straight games. Flag on the lob.
They will be an interesting challenge.
Not there as an answer, and James with a rebound. Cooper Flag 0 for 2. Start with a made free throw, and Tyrese Proctor will score it plus a foul to take the assist to go with his 12 points.
Well, this is the best that I've seen from him this year. I mean, he's been really good.
Proctor has an open look, and Proctor hits it. Long skip pass from Sion James.
I'd be going in there right away. But I had a couple guys that could go in there. Derek Coleman dunked down a couple times.
Pull up for Flag is good. He's got 11.
Back in that zone, sometimes it's good. Like, I mean, Roach was a good player. Mitchell was a good player, but I think they got better with the people that they brought in. So,
and this year has been really good. We have to be sharp from the jump tonight. How about a three from Flag to start? Just 10 on the timer. And picked off by Sion James. To a trailing Proctor. Bang from downtown. 5, and he left it off the front end. Behind the play, numbers for the Blue Devils.
And that's how you shoot 20%. You take tough shots. And there's Knipple. That's just a great play.
January 7th game here at Cameron Indoor on ESPN against Pitt is a game that I'm certainly intrigued to see. Evans, his third triple of the half.
And it forces Duke to take the timeout.
Trapping at court pressure. Easy lob. Malawach downstairs connects. I think a lot of people forget Clemson made a run to the Elite Eight last season. P.J. Hall is gone. Ian Shefflin has been impressive. So is Caleb Foster for the Blue Devils. And here's James. Gunba inside the dunk.
And you love that he hasn't played, but he comes in to make an impact.
James rips it away. Down the court for Flag.
2 for 8 with a couple of turnovers. Catch and shoot Evans.
And he is getting banged around right now by a veteran, more physically imposing player. Knipple drives, lefty, nice little reverse layup and in.
Well, to your point, Ravi, this Duke team's got.
They set it up for Cooper. He had a 3, hesitates now, mid-range game, and that is really his current strength.
3, Brown the rebound. Getting louder by the moment. Flag up and in. What a play by Cooper Flag.
What
with a ton of time still to go, and everybody on their feet here in Tucson. Flag, soft touch, and it drops in.
Boy, really good job.
Defense is going to dig down and make you think as opposed to just instinctually make a play.
James drives it. Up top, Malawach's back on the floor and an easy dunk. On the side, 5 for 9 on the other. 15-2 Blue Devil run. James got tripped up into Malawach, and Malawach takes a hit and still finishes for the offensive rebound. Wofford just cannot get a clean rebound in this game. Duke is sending players to the glass all over. Brown inside for James. It is
relentlessness and ability to get to those counters. And that's why I say that's what separates teams. The teams that are able to expose your defense by getting through all your options and having to counter for whatever you take away.
There's the first 3, Cooper Flag.
Defensivo lo ejecutó a la perfección.
Knipple, el triple, adentro, el número 7, desde el codo con un...
Knipple, as though he heard me say he had yet to score. Flag with another rebound. Gillis tries again. That experience that he brings in
minute game at this level versus what he was doing in high school. I think it's a
take us back to break. We'll step away and be back to Cameron right after this.
Much about everybody else's role this season. Former Black Bear himself, his wife, Ashley, was also a star basketball player at Maine. She has made the trip with her 2 daughters. And look, Foster lays it in.
Best defensive teams I've seen this year. James, quick step. Got Scott on the move. And a whistle. It'll go the other way on the turnover. Sion James will run it. Duke on top 30-19. And that'll go the other way. A foul on Duke.
Was playing Kansas in Las Vegas. Of course, playing Kentucky in Champions Classic. Going to Arizona. Playing against Auburn at home. They had been tested.
Powell playing a little bit more on the wing than he was earlier this year. Ball is still loose, still live, and out of bounds to Carolina. Carolina much more physical. Boy, Ben Allen Lubin's been playing well for the Tar Heels. Last 5, better than 13 points per game, almost 7 rebounds per game, and it's Carolina ball again.
Now Carolina's getting out in transition. That's where...
At one point, Duke led by 15. It's down to 3. And a steal by Withers. The Heels are running again.
You know, it's been kind of a strange game, Wes, in that it's lacked rhythm. And Duke has just found ways to score.
Offensive foul on James there, T.O. Yeah, it feels like that's the way we're going to go to Charlotte, doesn't it, with those 3? And an offensive foul on Sion James as he tried to drive to the basket. That's 4 now on James.
Head coach in ACC history. And probably does not get enough credit as James turned it over, committed a foul, for how well he has transferred from Idaho State. Well, Jim Larinaga mentioned some of the things that you just mentioned when he stepped down. He said,
$5 for $269 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Because he never saw a shot he didn't like.
Yes, you are exactly right. The problem is...
So Duke on top 15-12. Already 5 lead changes in this one, and that's a traveling violation. And back over to the Cavaliers. Rebound. James, Malawat set the screen for him. He rolls back inside and tipped away by Stanford.
An uncharacteristic turnover by Sion James. You don't.
The Duke turnover and a 6-point lead. Proctor had a 3 to open the game. James against Joseph Olajoseph, and a travel is called by Jeb Hartness. So Cal has gone to the bench, and still 11-point Blue Devil lead. Sion James looking for a path to the basket. He'll come to a stop. And a travel call by Mark Schnurr, as I think Mark Madden.
La jugada era buena, mejor el robo y la volcada acá de parte.
For the Blue Devils to be back home after 2 consecutive games on the road.
James will drive it, lost the handle, knocked away from him, and a turnover. That's something the Wolfpack does well. James looking to penetrate, poked away. Taylor got a hand on it. His Styles back in there.
Than they were earlier in the season, and we saw evidence of that on that last trip. Here's James, full head of steam, had it knocked away though by Kebajai. Now Burton, the pull-out.
It looks like he feels a little bit more comfortable in this second half attacking. Sion James had his hands down, and it was taken advantage of by Marcus Burton.
And the 3-point shooting for the game. OB right now, they're a quarter of the way to their season average.
We talked about the Duke defense, how suffocating it's been. A turnover here forced by Pitt, however. Sloppy play by Lowdown.
We'll see where Duke goes here on the offensive end of the floor to try to settle things down.
Yeah, a couple of cracks lately. And they're going to turn over again. Duke's lead was 17. It's now down to 11.
Michigan one season, had a great season last year at Wake, and now
in his first year at SMU as their leading scorer. Flag, and it's an illegal screen.
You saw James penalty.
And that ball got knocked away. Shute had it, lost it. Knipple with the turnover. Turnover number 2 on the Hokies, and the lob from Malawach. Ill-timed and last touch by the Hokies and John.
This guys on this team are flagging Knipple.
Yeah. There's a lob. Gungba couldn't handle it on the attempt from James.
So, no, I don't think there's rust. How can you have rust? You know, if you were off for a month, yeah.
Early touch for a flag. Knipple off and running. Partially rejected inside. And a turnover. UIW gets it in their first possession. Bailey Anderson, Heyman.
2 plays.
He said he's a sponge. He absorbs everything, but he wants to lift up others before he gets his. And at times, they're going to have to remind him, hey, it's okay to get after and get those points and set the tone to do. I think the ACC is in search of those other teams and who's going to be there by the time we get to March. It's going to be an offensive foul. James picks up his 3rd. Spencer Hubbard getting set to check in for the first time this season. Open look for Anderson. He's got 5.
James is stripped. And here comes Hepburn with numbers. Smith, the 3.
Like Duke's going to have to operate to score with this group.
3 subs waiting to come on. And another turnover. Here comes Rain Smith.
He does very well is draw fouls, and one of the reasons he does that is because of how active he is. He's never just standing still. Now a turnover on the inbounds.
And that's what Auburn does so well. They put
James will drive it and lost it on the way up.
Ten on the shot clock. James out high. Deflected. Dickinson, good hands and a push.
Cutting very much. What is John Shire saying when 3 times he implored his players to cut with a purpose?
Well, you want to get basket cuts whenever you can, but setting up your cut is just as important as the cut.
The Wildcats are trying to get the ball inside, Jay, but they're not succeeding.
Yeah, that ball didn't go high enough. You got to throw that all the way up.
And now a steal by Bradley. They got numbers. And Bradley
for 9 from 3, 0 for 10. My gosh. And how many of those 10 were wide open? James gets stripped. Nice hands there. Justin Bailey, the only transfer into this year's team.
It's another main turnover, and here comes Sion James to the rim. Flag couldn't corral it. He goes into the front row as Maine dribbles back the other way.
Corners, and then Sion James has that option to slip off of that little screen.
James turns it over. Second half shooting. Duke starting to seize control fully.
Up, I called your games.
You called everybody's games. With another one that'll go down for the point guard.
The spoils go to the victor. So the bottom line, he wins. He'll get it. I think Knipple will get it if Duke wins.
Hepburn draws the foul, and he'll be shooting 2. Looking a little confused. Georgia Tech looking very confident. Terry off the window, no. Malawach yanking down the rebound.
When you look at that, that is an encouraging sign. No boot on. I'm sure that there will be a tremendous amount of rehab and ice, etc. But normally, the Yellow Jackets, time is not on their side. They're going to have to find a way to make a push, and quickly.
George got it up there, and it's a 3. That's one way to do it.
That puts some real size on R.J. Davis.
Ian Jackson looking to get going. Too strong on the 3. Flag down with
inside to Van Allen Lubin. He needs to post hard against Tyrese Proctor.
Jackson fouled on the drive. Brown on him out on the perimeter. Davis has been scorching hot recently. And turns it over again. So back to
3 Houston. Take it on Hunter Dickinson and Kansas. Johnson on balance, around and out.
That was the negotiation. And Coach Shire said, yes, I will. And that's exactly what he did. And they are 18-1 with him.
Up to 35 today with Blake Buchanan slamming the one home earlier. However, it's still a huge advantage. Model watch versus opposition.
Wow. J.D. Ames.
Darling air ball from point-blank range. Tracked down by Lampkin. Howard dribble into Brown. Lampkin and all kinds of...
They really were never able to do it with Cameron Hill, just 3 fouls.
Salas with a pull-up. Got it.
If you can force help, then you kick it out.
1 of 2, 6-point game. Burton drives and hits. 4-point game. Timeout Notre Dame.
Really. Malowatch back into the ball game for defensive purposes.
Burton trying to get to the glass again. Shot altered by Malowatch, who...
With a quick step, airborne, no. Rebound tap.
That's the one thing about this Duke team. They feel like, you know, as well as they played 11-2, tough schedule as Miller kisses it off the glass. But one area where they belong.
Mike Young called him a master deflector today. There's a soft runner for the basket.
Duke makes it really difficult for you because they switch everything.
Yep. Brown, nice. All the way down, took the contact, couldn't finish it. And Brown off his foot. Nope, guess not, because it stays with the Hokies. 2 to shoot and foul thrown away.
He's not going to beat anybody off the dribble and create a 3.
Hammond, baseline, tried to scoop it up, and oh my, but that was ripped away. Tyler returning to the team, had been away after the loss of his father, Dikembe Mutombo, a couple of months ago. On the drive, Mustaf got it on the rim. Tyrese Proctor. Now 5 minutes without a basket for Tech. Terry not close to ending that.
Duke will snap George Mason's 5-game win streak and take a 5-game win streak of their own back.
They'll get another chance at a fresh 20. They'll say that first shot didn't graze the rim, and so Duke gets it back. As Siberia before this game, perhaps it's more like the Bahamas tonight. Well, maybe that's a stretch, and a foul on the shot. That'll go on.
Cardwell. And almost stolen by Brown. Yet another deflection. Pettiford hits the 3.
Well, both these teams have played incredibly difficult schedules to start this year.
Pettiford has it swatted away.
Drew off the bench from deep, and now 6 for 23 on the year. Moncrief, all kinds of trouble there. Going to the freshman.
We'll see if that happens within this game. It did in that Arizona game. Going to the hoop. Harris, he got banged. He does not get the foul. Yes, he does. And a chance for a 3.
All over the offensive glass, being a lob threat, and a presence on the interior of both ends of the floor.
Great second effort.
Hepburn, no. Hadley grabs it.
ACC tournament game.
Final seconds. Powell on the move against James, and he'll bank it in. 6 point.
And that assist total has to go up with a little better ball movement and player movement.
Shot clock's at 3. Davis gets it off. Tipped by Malowatch, and
4 seconds to get up a shot. Salas gave up the dribble. Harris with a wild one off the backboard. That's how the first half comes to an end.
Guarding him so hard, and it was so easy, though, for Flag to get the ball up the floor. Guess who that guy was?
Who was?
LeBron James.
Yaku's biggest effort was making sure that Jalen Blakes does not have a big game here on the floor.
He's 0 for 4 today. He has been completely shut down, and now he's 0 for 5.
Really struggled for the second. We said 92.9 we've raised million. And we're going to go over 100 million for pediatric versus pediatric cancer for the Jimmy V Foundation.
#1 defensive player in the nation.
Blacksher, 2 to shoot. 3 ball over James, missed everything. Another shot clock violation.
Con los Blue Devils viniendo del banquillo, equipo sólido, no tiene, me parece, Una sola grieta. Maluak brinca, intimida.
Can he lead the pack back in this one? Parker making a move. Up and hits the shot.
Say what, Trey Parker's been confident.
Styles and Parker have been a huge hunk of the offense. Hill getting down low and 2 points for him and a whistle.
That's his games against powerhouses, and they split them.
That January 7th game here at Cameron Indoor on ESPN again.
I'll watch more, like John Shire told us today at shoot-around.
Shot clock down to 3. High arcing 3, hit the top of the backboard.
For Louisville, but again, you want to finish strong.
Edwards. And now
He's aggressive, and you love that he hasn't played, but he comes in to make an impact.
James, if he gets top billing, Con Knippel's got to be 1A, right? I mean, he's played great here in the second half.
Well, that along with the team rebounding. I mean, what the...
Cuán largo es para conseguir esa canasta. De catálogo ese enceste de Cooper Flagg. Viene ahora este disparo de 3 puntos. Con mano izquierda. Es un canastón del número 7 de la Universidad de Duke. Ahora el triple para remediar algo.
Rucker, off a series of fakes, gets off the shot. He leads. In the America East Conference, Vermont, again this year, the team to beat. But the Black Bears are expected to be able to compete. Novak Perovic.
5 to get off a shot here. Edwards fumbled it on James, leaning in. Hits it!
Are you serious? Come on, David. And you and Barry, you do 7 games here. I have great respect and admiration for him.
Hepburn with a misfire in close. Knippel comes away with a back.
Yep, there's no question. And you know what? Both these teams since December are 47-2. 47-2. That's a...
The Heels need a long run, trying to climb back. So a cool start for the Duke Blue Devils. Way downtown, George with a miss. Well, that's right. Right now, Joe Lunardi, our bracketologist, has them in the tournament. On the switch yesterday after a big win. Around and out, Knippel with the ball.
Absence of 2 of his teammates knocking down a huge 3. And James also was an all-defensive team member this year, though, getting the stop. Everyone was up, pointing to spots where they wanted them to go. The 6th assist for Knippel.
George with a spin, another short one.
Then Cadeau and Davis for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, bigger and longer. Boy, good screen by Van Allen Lubin.
And Cadeau kind of turned it into more of a floater than a jump shot. And Davis, another one. A 2-pointer for Davis.
Jalen Withers to stay in front, force the fadeaway.
Duke's won 7 in a row. Carolina 6 in a row. Oh. How about the English from Cadeau?
Shot clock a factor. Down to 2. Salas took a look at it, launches a long one, and nothing but air. And a shot clock violation. Defense over the top without committing a foul. To jar that one free. Johnson off the dribble, bouncing inside, and it rolls home.
And that's really where...
Watch. And it was Cooper Flagg who came over for the deflection. Johnson from 14. Cooper Flagg with a rebound. He's got 10 to shoot. Got a crossover, nearly lost it. Now the pull-up, and he can't hit it.
Play. Monday night, they'll have a chance to go a perfect 10-0 and 17-0 if they win here tonight when Wake Forest visits. That ball got knocked out of bounds. Catch and release, bounds away. 3 minutes in, 5-point lead. It stays for Duke. Knowles are 1 for their first 5, make it 2 of their first 6, and Watkins has got 2 dunks. Maluk and Flagg scores off the glass. The creativity and the understanding of where he is on the floor is just another dimension to his game, and that's
8-1 on the road, 15-1 in the league.
Ugachukwu, get that out of here. Sion James.
And the push-off, easy call by the official.
That's his second. James Breeding, John Gaffney, Paul Sells are efficient. Inside they go. And that's Jacochonas. He's got to get rubbed off on him. Because they say his motor, as you mentioned, is so good.
Yeah, and I think LeBron learned that too by spending time with Kobe, who was relentless.
Alina looking for some momentum. Boswell. And another rebound for the big
woman to serve as a athletic director in ACC history. So Virginia at the forefront of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as a proud alum, I have to tree.
He was like a 2 or 3 point a game guy for Duke. He was on some great teams here. His runner will be off target. He's already come back east and shot.
Now 1 of 2 from the field.
Here's Wilkinson against James. They're going to fight for a spot right of the lane, fall away. That's well short. Air ball, Brown the recovery.
Get into that one later.
Well, I'm not giving it to him outright, but he's been pretty good.
Stojakovic's definitely one of the most improved as we see Wilkinson knocking down the 3.
Under with a crossover, lays it in. What a beautiful drive.
Very rarely do you see that again.
Brownell, of course, trusts Chase Hunter so much with the ball as we get to the end of the shot clock.
Zachary with the drive. He got the layup, but it wouldn't fall.
But Dickie V, how about the fact that Cooper Flagg isn't having a great game, but yet the Blue Devils still with a 3-point lead here on the road in a hostile environment. That speaks.
One of the best freshmen in the country. Duke has 3 potential lottery picks between Kniffel, Battle and also Cooper Flagg. But look, when you're
inside 10 here for the Pack. Hill looking for some room to operate. Pulls up on James and can't stick it. Rebound comes out hot. This Hill, the 6'4" senior, and a transfer from Bowling Green, trying to weave his way inside. His jumper, no.
Of his team.
Joshua Beadle with the basketball. BC playing without one of their better scorers tonight. And Elijah Strong, 11.
Marcus Burton was out. Burton missed about 7 weeks with a knee injury. This is his 3rd game back. Burton will try a 3. And Flagg down with the
NBA draft. He is everything he was advertised to be and more.
5 minutes into the second half, Duke by 11. Burton no, and Flagg
does he play. Low with a pull-up. Drains it.
That's the guy that's going to have to get going for Pitt.
Oh boy, little ankle breaker there, but you got to finish that, right? Swatted over. Nearly a takeaway by Duke. Brown, who leads the country in deflection so far this year, deflected that ball.
James round out the 5 on the floor for John Shire. Hammond weaving through traffic up off the glass and got his own rebound. Hammond working against James. Good job by Gungba to help out on the trap, and last time.
Deflection king.
Malik Brown, he's always got his hands on the ball, always.
Terry rattles it home.
Field and 50 from the 3. I mean, they're hard to beat when they shoot like that. And there's another block from the big guy.
Georgia Tech hasn't scored. 6-6-6-6 repeating for us.
Nice defensive play there by
What was your major?
I think it was social science, history.
You know, it was a
good feet. He moves. And you know what? He's big. Sometimes they list guys at 7'2" and they're 7 foot. He's 7'2", I think. I don't think.
Shot clock turned off for George Mason. Final 10 seconds of the first half. Johnson a fadeaway. Rebound Kniffel.
Cardinals get it back.
In between 2 freshmen, which won't look good on film tomorrow.
Anderson high off the glass, no. Ripped away South. And the Cardinals will slow it down. The minute remaining. 3-pointer all net by Anderson and a timeout.
Every set.
Mentioned that to us today several times. Evans 14 in the second half. The runner by Anderson. Find number 3.
I beg your pardon. Thank you, partner.
Just saved you
Head
on
on
Twitter.
swivel.
Nobody stops the ball, and Pettiford lays it in.
Oh, come on, Mal.
And just reached for his left hamstring.
Might be a little cramping.
Yeah.
He's had that issue earlier in the year.
Something to keep an eye on. Pettiford. Pettiford splits a pair and floats it up and in. The lefty knocks it.
Big possession here. Auburn needs a bucket.
Jones on the drive. Tried to go 1-on-2 and paid the price. Pettiford a step back three, not there.
Floyd Badunga is in. He's 40 in blue. What an athlete. Now he's moving. He just moved and right into Sion.
Into the middle of the floor trying to eliminate help. And he made two great cuts to the basket.
Lewis pulls up, around and out. Ball is still loose. Win over Kentucky in the NCAA tournament last year. 17 points, 12 rebounds in that game. Lewis misses the three and flags. Bradley. It won't go. He wanted the whistle, didn't get it.
Well, and Army's gotten a little bit lucky because Duke, that was their 11th offensive rebound, but they only have 7 second chance points. So Duke.
And again, he made 9 3-pointers in a game against Penn State a couple of years ago, a Mackey Arena record. He can fill it up in a hurry. Bending on the wing. Staying with Josh Scovins, the #1 offensive weapon, or one of the 2 offensive weapons primarily for Army. There he is once again, forcing a sophomore guard from Shelton, Connecticut. To the left hand, that's a nice looking move by Jaden Clayton.
Thea, who's gone 3 for 6. Deep in the shot clock here. Swartz from inside half court. That is a shot clock violation.
7-29. Points in the paint. Duke, huge domination there, 26-8. Virginia looking to quiet.
That you may not find in all universities. So you're talking about guys that want to be there and want to get that Stanford degree.
I would never, ever have that problem if I had no grades. Zero.
Sion James' football career came to a close on an ACL injury. As early in his high school career, there's a drive and a miss by Wilkinson. And Malawak
would play 15 minutes out of 55 minutes with the triple overtime. They need him on the floor.
Good shot up and in by Dylan Hunter to get Clemson.
8 to shoot. Rolling inside from Taylor. Starling 3. End of the shot clock. Rims out to Tyrese Proctor.
Seeing 2 of their guys, actually 3 of their guys, Jason Tatum going up against Paolo Banchero is Cooper Flag goes well.
Guys in the NBA will probably be from Africa. They're just scratching the surface over there right now. There's an open shot. They don't get many of those.
They'll get to the free throw line. Here's a situational offense. A sideline out of bounds play.
From 15. Floater, no. Bailey's
to be coached and how to play the game. And then I think they're going to get more and more good talent.
3 ball not there in the
such good decisions with the ball.
He's into double figures now. Johnson from the elbow, short. Rebound, Malawak.
What are some creative ways Duke can do that?
I think in the post, I think you can post Cooper a little bit more. Such a good passer. If you force a double, he can play.
7 years older than him. Harris, Adams, the physicality of Kansas. Duke hung in there. There's a foul as Gungle out for the driving shot.
They've missed 9 shots. They don't have a single offensive rebound yet, and they are the best offensive rebounding team in the nation early on this season. And now they missed 10. And
Field, 15 of those 21 attempts have been from 3. They've hit 1. They haven't attempted a free throw. Here's another open look, and it's just not going right now.
I hope for a while on his way to have an X-ray. The X-ray was negative. He's responded well to treatment, but not going tonight. There's the slam by Powell.
A beautiful find from Ben Allen Luke.
7 times for him, surpassing Kenny Anderson, Tyler Hansbrough. You're talking about some of the best to ever lace him up in the ACC. A careless turnover from Hill.
By any means necessary.
Backdoor, Riley gets to the basket. And a foul coming up against Duke.
Kofi up top here for Buchanan. On the baseline, they kick inside. They move the ball exceptionally well, but missed the shot in close.
How about Wake really starting this with good defense? And now they're playing with confidence. The attack offensively, they're getting good looks.
Brown looking to penetrate. Shut down again. Nice backdoor move for two. That's been how their offense has been clicking for several games now. Really dishing it well. And a big-time block. And also a whistle on the play with
George in the corner. No. And kept alive by Ryan Mutombo. He'll get it back. Too hot for Dongo to handle.
Phillips hounded by Evans. Stuck on the baseline. Up and under, and Darius Maddox showing why he was once. Inside, Waterman sent away. Sion James recover. How does Louisville respond here? Like that. Backdoor thing of beauty to Rain Smith.
True to this point of the season, Janai Broom, and keep an eye on number 13, Miles Kelly. There he is, a transfer from Georgia Tech. He had two very...
Everybody wants to see, and every player wants to play in.
And Auburn, by the way, still has Ohio State and Purdue to come in the next couple of weeks. Here he is, swinging it to Broom, who's fouled by James. Broom a touch. Can't hit it.
What a rebound.
Jones finds Baker Mazzara. It's a 5-point game.
What a
Two. He's on the bench for the first time. He's got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Nice backed up by Tripp, and that ball finds its way in. Might have been touched by Malo.
Clear.
And his minutes were down because the game was pretty one-sided. Tough shot. Great use of his body. Josh Scovins, that has become a tradition on ACC Network to have back-to-back 7 and 9 o'clock games. Either start at Duke and go to Carolina, or this year or other years.
Carolina needs to get out in transition in this game. Duke wants to make them a half-court team. Another turnover, just trying to make the home run pass.
Duke in transition. James up and good perimeter. Davis has been scorching hot recently. And turns it over again. So back-to-back possessions where the Heels turn it over. Foster over the next week. The rebound down to Trimble, just 10 seconds to go. Turned over to James, and that is going to do it. Duke took a punch.
Be successful, especially in this building. The swing once again for Salas. Interrupted. James got his hands on it. Knipple on the drive, going in strong.
Length at the guard position, whatever that is anymore. Guard position, 6'9". Cooper Flag, Sion James. These guys are monsters.
Flag with a takeaway. Ugachukwu to defend. That's
smart.
A very smart foul.
They were 14 and 13. That's not going to last long with Kyle Smith. He's going to turn this to a winning program.
Okpara lost the dribble. Great hustle by Knipple, hitting the deck.
Flag switched on to Cup. The Kansas transfer lost the handle. James with a steal. James down the floor. Got Starling in the air. Couldn't finish. Foul was Lampkin's third. He stays out there, the Syracuse big man.
There we go.
Off his hands, though. You like the idea there?
Well, he dragged that screen out. Force that defender to come.
Range. Tracked down by Lampkin. Power dribble into Brown. Lampkin in all kinds of trouble. Steal for Flag. Flag.
Tazo de Flag, apuesta por el robo, no llega. Quedó abajo. Pierde el balón.
So Duke with a response, and how about this? The pick by James. He'll slide in. Trey Parker with
8% para llevarse la victoria.
63% lo que está tirando Doug en cuanto a la larga distancia. Segundo robo de la noche para Cooper Flagg.
And kept alive by Ryan Mutombo. He'll get it back. Too hot for Dongo to handle.
You just can't, you can't score inside when the big guy's in there.
O'Connor had a jar loose, 10 on the timer. And picked off by Sion James. To a trailing Proctor. It's 1 for their last 7 offensively.
Carter Word coming off its first conference victory of the season in the Southland. Pike got a bit too fancy, turns it over. Here's Proctor, wants the 3.
Just saved you
Head
on Twitter.
Swivel. Hepburn coughs it up. Here comes Malik Brown. Watch out! And a second opportunity for Edwards. And that is the 15th Louisville turnover, which was what kept
bounding. Flag again. James the tip. Moore comes down with it for the Tigers, but they lose it. And James is headed back to the
play in.
And Auburn, by the way, still has Ohio State and Purdue to come in the next couple of weeks.
I don't know what that pass was, a behind-the-back pass on out-of-bounds underneath.
He's aggressive, and you love that he hasn't played, but he comes in to make an impact.
James rips it away. Down the court for Flagg.
We certainly appreciate what this is.
And you were notably a pregame player to watch on one of those broadcasts from Dan Bonner.
Dan Bonner killed me during the broadcast.
It was your 17th, 6 for 23 on the year. Moncrief, all kinds of trouble there. Going to the freshman instead of M.A. Moncrief, 2 for 8 with a couple of turnovers.
Defense hasn't been really good in this game. They've held Duke to 44. It's just they've only put 33 on the board.
Vesar has it knocked away. And another Arizona turnover.
The rest of the team only had 2 field goal attempts, though, in the last 5 minutes, as James has another Duke takeaway. Setting up Proctor. And the rebound down to one. Grateful trip.
Don't even get me started on hook and hold.
Bailey, no. Still hasn't scored. Dylan Bailey, 12-point per game.
And that's what he does best. He is a deflection master.
In practice, more than twice as many deflections as any of his teammates. Cooper Flagg on the receiving end.
A little bit lucky because Duke, that was their 11th offensive rebound, but they only have 7 second chance points. So Duke really hasn't made them pay yet.
James off the feed from Flagg. Foster tries to stay with him. Tynes no-look pass, but James was there waiting for it. Sion James will head the network to have back-to-back 7 and 9 o'clock games. Either start at Duke and go to Carolina, or this year, or other years going the other way around. Sion James somehow keeps his foot.
No in conference play. Monday night they'll have a chance to go a perfect 10-0 and 17-0 if they win here tonight when Wake Forest visits. That ball got knocked out of bounds.
13 for Duke. 8-1 on the road, 15-1 in the league.
Ugochukwu, get that out of here. Sion James into the front. Para que Duke retome momentáneamente la ventaja. Esto es una locura. Parece un marzo adelantado lo que estamos viviendo esta noche en Durham. Pero ese es el efecto de un equipo con toda su prosapia, con toda su historia.
And that's been how their offense has been clicking for several games now, really dishing it well. And a big-time block. And also a whistle on the play with 14:19 to go. Ball is rolling. And Flag just lost the handle on that one. Low off to the races. Goes to the left hand. Great defense by James as he rolls up to the flag.
Inside Waterman sent away. Sion James recovering.
Tonight. Well, both these teams have played incredibly difficult schedules to start this year.
Pettiford has it swatted away.
This is a big possession here. Auburn needs a bucket.
Jones on the drive. Tried to go 1-on-2 and paid the price as it's knocked out of bounds.
Shire knows he's not going to be bashful when he gets his opportunities. He's going to take them.
Troy with a kick out. Hepburn is open from three. Way too strong. Edwards trying to bring back a recovery here for the Cardinals. A long one on the way and too strong by Ruth. As you pointed out for Cadeau, that's been an ongoing issue in the first half, hasn't it?
It absolutely has been. This is the 35th game for the Tar Heels this year. 23.
Looking to get it in. Here's the shot. That misfires off of the rinse in the country. George on the attack to the baseline. Here's Powell outside with a long one, and he'll stick the triple.
And Duncan Powell, who's been as good. So I don't want anyone to think that they'll be as good offensively without Cooper Flag, but they'll be fine.
Powell from the corner drains it.
This is the end of the floor.
Been impressive here in this tournament. Sutton is open. Yes, a three on target.
And that's been two.
The one thing John Shire wanted tonight was a win, obviously, but do you think it's good that Duke really got pushed? They have been blowing everybody out in the ACC the last few weeks. Is it?
Johnson gets a look at it, down to three. Here's the kick for Spillers, and can't bury it.
And has 16 points against Carolina. Here's Watkins to work, though. Skips it to Dang. Long three out of the corner, rattles in for Jerry Dang.
Hey, I'm a big fan of someplace else. That was from Jim Larenega's final press conference here.
And you can't fault kids for it, so let's not say it should be any other way. It just is what it is.
Flag just missed the box out there. Bethea into the corner for Johnson. An air ball.
Do you understand that point?
I do understand that.
Like, well, Cooper Flag is in a different category because he does a little bit of everything. But I'm talking about leading scorers.
State McRae wrapped it around for a bad miss.
Baseline jump shot. First one off the mark. Yakuchonis with the rebound. They swing it. Humrickhouse. And the rebound.
Picking up a foul.
Knipple with 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Yakuchonis. Humrickhouse deep. 0 for 10 from the three-point line for Illinois. A hand on it. Comes out with it. Yakuchonis. Short. And that's been the Achilles heel.
Consider what Knipple and Cooper Flag are doing. These are freshmen in road games, true road games in ACC play. There are signs in the building talking about these guys.
True guards, who is 6'6", on the tallest team in the country. Flag came over to help out defensively. Reynaud again. Even though he missed that one, you guys have been colors beyond the three-point line. Reynaud calling for the ball. Here's Blakes. Can he get started here? No. Been a long day for him. And his return to...
DeMiro at that time had a great kid Vasquez. Remember him? He was a good player.
Taylor gives it up. And Blakes can't connect from three-point territory. And a foul.
Simply because I'm not sure who's at 3 right now.
Jones got an open look. That won't drop. And Knipple
scrambles back so well defensively in transition, and the Ards cannot get an easy shot. Starling to pull up, line drive in at 3, and he's got all 7 in 3 minutes right now. Davis again, feeds Starling, who finally hits a 3. J.J. Starling's first point.
En el cielo para ellos. R.J. Davis. Jackson para en la punta de la llave, falla. Se antoja muy complicado porque Duke está jugando a altísima intensidad. Ian Jackson falla North Carolina, que acá viene con Ian Jackson. Davis, el triple. Gran. Yo lo veo difícil, ¿eh? Sí. Este tiro es desastroso. Ian Jackson. Acabó con el triple.
Forcing the turnover. Taylor can't hit it. He was wide open, but they'll get a second look. Here's Taylor again. He swishes in another three. The zone costing NC State valuable seconds on the offensive end. Parker has to launch a long one. Can't hit it off the back iron, and it's flagged with a rebound.
NBA game last night. Big win for the Celtics. And a college game tonight. Here's Kelly straight on, around and out. And a whistle.
Animándose un poco más a tirar de larga distancia. Tiene el recurso humano para hacerlo.
Hoy hasta ahorita estamos arrancando con un partido muy intenso donde el equipo de el tercer mejor anotador por parte del equipo de Miami y Matthew Cleveland es el máximo anotador con 216 unidades previo al arrancar el partido.
Of the kind of competitor that Christian Laettner was when he was here at Duke.
Burton the kick, Knesny the three, and right as the shot clock was expired.
He's been a huge factor in why Duke has been so good this year.
Knesny hit a couple of threes in the first half for the Irish. Now Burton will try one and hit it. And again, Notre Dame. That is a new Duke freshman record. 36 points. Davis answers at the other end.
Wanted to take a triple. At the foul line denied. D has been outstanding. A long jumper and nailed it. Hey, shot clock ball.
He's the Cal transfer. With Lowell, shoot. Patrick Wessler's there, and here's Rechsteiner for three. And Lowell inside.
Tonight I always said the first 4 minutes of the second half, that's when you got to be good, and I think he's right. You want to be good.
Skip pass. Tongo across the way, and Terry finished it. 4.5 minutes. This is now the largest lead for Duke. Powell three.
He hit that one in the first half.
Right before the end of the half, and suddenly you're out of the game.
Johnson a three. One and done trip again. Hadley rolling to the basket. Wide open Edwards. Cashes in from downtown.
You have to credit the Duke defense. I mean, they are remarkable with their contesting of shots and scrambling out. They've really picked things up, also rebounding on the defensive end.
Baker Mazzara, no. Broom with the rebound. Pettiford wide open. Johnson the rebound.
Of that lead. They've held Seattle to 4 for 14 shooting and 6 turnovers. And Seattle now 0 for 5 from 3. And he goes nowhere with it. Stevens. Here's a three for Panja, no.
Dickinson and Brown, he's got about a 6-inch advantage over him, and that one is short. Skated behind the net.
Yep. Nope.
Way off to the left. Oh, but Dunga just ripped it.
Time all night, and then you give up an open three.
Bailey trying to get around flag. Brown comes to help. Into the corner. Here's a good look for three. Another one missed. That was Aaron.
Brea. A la esquina. Pase extra. El disparo ahora no entra.
Mom.
That's what it said on the thing.
That's Miss Gloria.
Was that Gloria?
That's Miss Gloria Jane.
Legitimate number.
Shot won't go down for Edwards.
Although you're talking about a team that averages close to 11 three-point field goals made per game, and right now they're 0 for 11.
Gustav will draw the foul.
Play, especially being that it's here in Durham, where the Blue Devils have been spectacular on offense all season long.
Johnson, good drive, couldn't finish. Spillers couldn't get it. So now Wig needs an answer. Hildreth running into a wall, left it short. Flag picking the rebound.
Yeah, the problem is, this the way the gym is set up, it may take us a while to be able to fix that one.
On the drive, off the window. Nice touch by the freshman Harris.
Yeah, Duke Harris said it.
Not a thought of passing.
Nope. Jackson into traffic over Malawatch. Flag gathers.
Around Yakuchonis. Boswell explodes to the cup, off the window softly, and in. Hummerkaus, Yakuchonis trying to create, step back three. 0 for 11 now from the three-point line and a 5.
So Virginia may be in a danger zone on their home floor. Their big crowd is quieted. Brody off balance will draw the foul. Go a long way to determining who would win the ACC regular season title.
Well, these are the two teams that had the most wins in ACC action.
2020, 2021. They were 14 and 13. That's not going to last long with Kyle Smith. He's going to turn this to a winning program.
Against when they went to Clemson and won that triple overtime game. He was huge.
Stojakovic baseline fall away on Gungba, no good. James the rebound.
Cooper Flags is 2 for 11. Zachary with a pull-up and around and out. Flag with a board. Malawatch over to help. Shefflin on the back down. Zachary on the attack off the window for 2 more.
That was a tough shot.
Aquí en la duela del Coach K, merecidamente llamada de esa forma. El disparo llega de cerca. Ya dijimos cátedra. ¿En qué se está convirtiendo esto, Toño?
Bueno, ahí vemos el dato en
el rebote. Ian Jackson. Acabó. Buen rebote.
Get back defensively and affect the opportunity by Taylor, not allowing him to have the easy look.
Nice save by Styles on the sideline. That got the free jumper for O'Connell. It's been nifty move there. Off the window, no. Middlebrooks kept it alive. They swing for Taylor. Taylor's jumper. And a rebound picked off by Tyrese.
And the Pack have done that here tonight.
Middlebrooks out of the double. O'Connell splits the defense and lays it in. They're also making a lot of smart decisions.
They 60. They have a plus 20 margin of victory throughout the season. And now trying to find a way to get some separation. The great equalizer will be the three-point
game against Miami before that.
I think he's got to find the shot he likes, not the one he gets.
Harris leaning in, and a tough drive will draw the foul.
Shift the defense by moving him on the floor.
Johnson off the fake, drives it, and a foul.
Llegar al mejor básquetbol del mundo como una primera selección, o al menos esa es la proyección que indican todos, en una posesión particularmente larga para...
Mohamed Strong into the paint and draws the foul. The freshman from Charlotte will be
uncontested threes. Duke on a 7-0 run. Cross thought about it, goes to the rack. And he'll go to the line. That'll be a foul. I think it's really tough on television to try to see how big this Duke team is. I mentioned earlier,
gate the paint, little pump fake action to finish right there at the cup.
Largest deficit at halftime this year for the Stangs is 6.
Offensively, what do you like for them?
You know, they've had so many injuries, it's hard for them to get any consistency, and they haven't shot it really well either, but they've got...
Zach Anderson out to Maddox. And their leading scorer stops the scoreless drought and puts...
Not shot the three very well this year so far, so he's a better guy to be shooting the three. Again.
KD Johnson. And another contested three off the mark. Now O'Connor. Dribble pull-up, no. Put back is good by
15 for the field. Deep clock again. James guarding the ball, smothering Arrington. A very difficult tool. And Gungba. Deshaun Stevens will hoist one from deep and hit CS.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you certainly appreciate what this is.
And you were notably a pregame player to watch on one of those broadcasts from Dan Bottom. Mayo stuck in there. Griffin, yes! And a block. He's got a chance for... Nope. Way off to the left. Oh, but Dunga just ripped it away. Brown didn't see it. Second chance. That time the house wins. It doesn't go.
It's not like Arizona's defense hasn't been really good in this game. They've held Duke to 44. It's just they've only put 33 on the board.
Vesar has it knocked away.
Disparar exactamente en el mismo punto, pero del otro lado no pudo encestar. Buen movimiento de Lamont.
At the right time, all the time. With a minute to go in the first half. Carey, tough shot off the window, too strong. Brown clears the rebound.